These may be two different versions of Lara Croft, but I'd love to rate both of their tombs equally. You get what I'm putting down. The perv counter's active on a very touching episode of Movie Feuds. Let's begin. The casting of both these Laras is pretty spot on, with Angelina Jolie's breasts being 100% on point. Have you seen these suckers? They're like triangles. They mirrored the original game's laughably disproportioned character model. This polygon beauty was all about the sex appeal, and Jolie embraces it with her signature pursed lips and constant posing for the camera. Alicia Vikander's 2018 Lara mimics the game reboot. She's far more vulnerable, yet still just as capable of holding her own. Granted, she doesn't dispatch 15 guys via rope gymnastics, but she uses her speed and agility wisely. The sexuality's been curbed for a more grounded and realistic Lara. Watching a 90-pound Croft take down a trained mercenary 3 times her size was a bit tough to swallow, and that's where the 2001 version fares a little better, because the whole thing is stupid. It's intentionally campy, doesn't take itself seriously, so everything works within that world. Voight gets to pretend like he's a good father figure in the film, like he pretends he's a good father figure in real life. Which is nice, that's good for him. Dominique West plays the same part with far more screen time in the new version. I wouldn't say it's more compelling, but it certainly wants to be. The father-daughter dynamic is a big driving factor, with much of the relationship being revealed via flashbacks. These keep the audience abreast of their history together. There's a bit of a romantic entanglement between Jolie's heroine and the pre-James Bond Daniel Craig. He may not be 007 yet, but there's plenty of bondage at play. Game of Thrones resident blue balls himself Jorah is the villain of the picture, with a pretty impressive bad guy name. Manfred Powell. That's strong, that's earthy, I like that. Matthias Vogel, aka Poor Man's Rick Grimes, is the source of Lara's problems in 2018. Neither of these gentlemen pose much of a threat, though. Vikander gets a sidekick of sorts in the form of a fishing captain named Lu Ren, played by Daniel Wu. There isn't much to any of the support staff. They fill out the roles, much like Angelina in a fresh tank top, but the focus is really on Lara, as it should be. I hate saying Lara. Can I say Laura? Can we just do that from now on? The 2001 story is utter nonsense. It's another one of those cliched scripts revolving around planets or stars aligning every 5,000 years to reveal some mystery or secret. Much like Lara, there's a lot of holes that need to be filled in. I'm sorry, no more vagina jokes. Period. Jolie's Croft is already a well-established badass with unlimited funds and a confident, sly personality. She's quite cheeky too. I've never seen cargo shorts smile, but the ones on Jolie are about as close as it's gonna get. The movie opens with a fight scene that seems to last for about 35 minutes between Lara and a machine her technician on hand built. After that, it's off to the showers for a quick Nude Raider tribute. She's very much a Bruce Wayne type here, kind of keeping up appearances, but in secret she's ready to go out on that next adventure, find a tomb, crack it open, see what's inside. Ironically enough, she doesn't even need to leave the house to find the world's best treasure chest. She just simply has to look down. Much like the 2013 game, Alicia's Lara is starting from scratch. This womb raider hasn't been using her lost dad's income. She isn't a murderous spelunker yet, nor does she seem to have much interest in such things. We do find out early on that she is quite good with wood. She has a bow and arrow that she trains with. She's quite good with it. We also see she has fighting experience, knows how to think fast on her feet, and is good at getting away on a bike. Some of those skills seem like they could come in handy down the road, especially if there's a bike laying around for her to use. I will say though, she had quite the tail on her in that scene. By solving a poor man's Rubik's Cube, she's able to track down her missing father's location to a mysterious island. Both sets of films follow the Indiana Jones National Treasure Mummy playbook, having our heroes race to get to the prize before the opposition does. On top of that, there are traps and sometimes supernatural elements to deal with. And then there's those classic color puzzles. There's color puzzles here, as Lara points out. And these traps are deadly. One false move and our heroine could be found tits up, floating down the river. There were a lot of dumb character decisions in the 2018 flick, but the script does do a good job of nailing this modern Lara. Lucky script. The level of CG on display in the 2001 flick hit Scooby-Doo proportions, which is not a compliment. It's also not a complete disaster, since once more, this picture is not taking itself seriously. Director Simon West films the action like a 90s music video, with some really bad music choices playing over top. So many movies around this time tried to borrow or emulate The Matrix, using it as inspiration, and oftentimes they fell flat on their face. This was one of those instances. The new outing is much better in the special effects department, but there's still plenty of green screen popping out. A cool shipwreck, some nice hand-to-hand combat, and surprisingly good cinematography at points make these standout moments for me. I did find it completely ridiculous how Lara would full-body jump constantly during her adventure, especially when any other option would have made more sense. I saw one of the behind-the-scenes training sessions for Vikander. She worked her ass off. Quite literally, unfortunately. Showcasing a really impressive frame. She's a solid, tiny force of nature. I'm not sure what sort of training Jolie did. I'm guessing she drank the blood of an 18-year-old virgin boy while sacrificing a goat to Barbados, the Duke of Hell. None of this has anything to do with her preparation for the role. I'm just speculating what a typical Thursday night's like for her. I'm sure a lot of people go soft for Jolie. This is a film. But I remain hard and steadfast in my opinions. It's fun to watch if you enjoy laughing at how stupid things can get, but that's not really high praise. Is the new film amazing? No, not really. It's pretty generic and straightforward. I was calling all the plot points before they happened. But it also has a few memorable moments, and it is attempting to not just be another video game movie. What'd you think though, champ? Did you get a kick out of the sillier, more unstoppable Jolie? Or did you like the more banged up Lara that the 2018 version provided? I reached out on Twitter for some comments, and here's what they had to say. 2001 Tomb Raider is shamelessly absurd and a lot of fun because of it. Tomb Raider 2001 was a movie of its time. Sure, it had some weird shit around that doesn't make any sense, but it had vision and big guns. And Tomb Raider 2018 is well shot and well acted, but lacked the charm. And lastly, just 2001 versus 2018? No cradle? Why not a three-way? I like that. Thank you for adding to the pun counter, people. You're appreciated. There you have it. Opinions. I love them. They're different. And that's why this is more than just reviews. This is Movie Feuds. And the pun counter easily got over 20, which makes me happy. I was a little worried I was gonna come up short. We'll end on that.